First modern day mission coming up.
Welcome back, Desmond. You'll be happy to hear there's actually good news for once.
Yeah?
I've managed to locate a power source, and it's relatively close by. Up for a trip to Manhattan?
Is it safe to leave? Abstergo's gotta be looking for us.
Obviously it's not safe. Can't exactly sit around here hoping to get lucky, though, can we? We need that power source. Besides, I'm sure you can cook up some way to hide our movements.
Maybe. The Templars have access to all kinds of satellites and camera systems. We'll need to find a way to mask our digital signature. I can probably camouflage the van, too. But there's not much I can do for us.
That's an easy one.
I love that scene. Yeah, this is not really. There are three.
Local utility companies have assured the public that they're completely prepared for the upcoming solar maximum. Disruptions to service are expected to be minimal.
If only they knew.
What's this?
A remote-operated camera. It'll provide us with a feed while you're on mission. This will let us talk to each other.
We're almost there, so listen up. The artifact is in an office penthouse in Lower Manhattan. At this time of night, direct infiltration is going to get you noticed. I think we're better off having you drop in from above.
What do you mean, above?
I thought I heard something.
Can you hear me? Testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Yep, read you just fine. Now why don't you power up the camera? I've got pics. Running diagnostics. Perfect. I've got a nice
Doesn't look too strong. Okay, I was gonna say there are three modern day missions in this game. Most of them involve, 2 or 3 of them involve free running. That's what I love about this part. One of them is kind of meh in my opinion. Close combat, but it does have a nice. But of these, honestly, of the 3 modern day missions, I like the one come best because of where it's set and just the setting of it. Like the parkouring and area of constructions. This, I mean, it's interesting, but it doesn't really have this same feel.
Oh, no, hold still. It's a lovely view.
Seriously, Sean? Fuck you.
Now, I would not be caught dead. This kind of stuff. My God. I know there's people that, like, actual parkour people in real life that do this kind of stuff. Like, I've seen videos of people doing parkour off rooftops. But even if I were to practice parkour all my life, there is not enough money in the world that would get me to this. Even if you do everything to ensure my safety, there's not enough money in my world that'll get me. I mean, I've done mountain climbing before. I climbed actual, like, I actually climbed like a side of a one point during camp. It's like a, not really a big cliff.
Jesus.
Look on the bright side. No security to worry about.
And on the not so bright side, the slightest misstep means you're effectively paced.
Shut up, Sean.
It's really just a small little cliff we climbed up, but I did do Uh, doing this kind of stuff in the construction side, yeah, hard pass. And if I was good at this kind of stuff, I'd say no. But it is kind of cool. But sadly, this is one of the last times you actually get this
Almost there, Desmond.
kind of stuff until
Top of the lit up crane. You should be high enough to make the jump.
Should?
It'll be fine.
Assassin's Creed Origins, I believe.
Well, you might want to worry a little. I'm pretty sure she was high when she was running the numbers.
Sean!
A joke. It was a joke. Or was it?
It has some parkour in Assassin's Creed Origins. Really, in terms of modern day. One of the things I really wish it would do is just bring back the modern day segments like Assassin's Creed did, like make it more interesting. I think that modern day is more of an afterthought. These actual bread and butter of this game is the past, but I really would like to see mentioned.
Jump when you're ready, but wait for my signal to open the chute. Timing's really important here. Too soon or too late, and you'll miss the...
Oh, this is Edge.
Now! Open your chute, now!
Oh. Okay. I've never actually filled this before. I don't even possible. I'm supposing it is if you parachute. I just definitely. Here's one of my favorite scenes of this game.
That wasn't so bad.
So, you must be Desmond. Not exactly what I expected, but I guess your kind doesn't have many options these days.
Who are you?
Ask your father. Now give me that.
I don't think so.
Look, I'm not supposed to kill you, but the boss man didn't say anything about fucking you up. So you've got to the count.
I honestly forgot about that scene. I was expecting like a button reaction thing.
So who the hell is Daniel Cross?
Believe it or not, he used to be an assassin. The assassin, the way I've heard it told, but it turned out he was a sleeper agent for Abstergo, programmed to infiltrate and destroy the organization.
How did he know you were there? We could be compromised.
They must have caught me snooping inside their network and sent Cross to see what we were after. If they were aware of our current location, we'd know. Though, I will say this. It doesn't bode very well for future expeditions.
I've set up some cameras topside. If anyone shows up, we'll see it.
I'd suggest you go see about finding a socket for that power source. Or we can return to Connor if you prefer. All the artifacts in the world won't mean a thing without the key.
I think we're gonna find a socket for this power source. First, in dialogue.
I know everyone thinks I'm being silly, but I can't shake the feeling we're being watched.
We are being watched. By Juno. Or some version of her.
Do you think it's a recording? Or is she a ghost? Or something else? Is she talking to us the way Minerva talked to Ezio?
No clue. I mean, who knows what else they were working on down here? There's still so many rooms we don't have access to.
But do you think she's like literally down here, waiting somewhere, still alive?
Still alive? That's mental. That means she'd be at least 75
80,000 years old? They're powerful, yeah, but not that powerful.
They came down here looking for a way to survive. Maybe they found one. Was it weird seeing Cross?
What do you mean?
It's different for you. You don't know about what happened, I guess. For a long time, he was important to us. He was a different person.
Sean said he was a sleeper agent, like Lucy.
It was different. She made a choice, but Cross, if you read the files, Abstergo just... They did terrible things to him.
Rebecca?
You're lucky. We all are. We have people who care about us, who look out for us. He was all alone, and the people he thought he could trust, they used him.
Did you know him?
No, but I knew Hannah.
Who's that?
She tried to help him. She trusted him. But there was a raid about a year ago. She stayed behind so the others could escape. Tried to reason with him to see if she could fix things.
Well, what happened?
What do you think happened? He killed her. That's what he does. That's all he knows how to do. Sometimes it seems like that's all any of us know how to do.
Really kind of sad.
Rebecca.
Because this whole... It since the very first game is kind of shown that the assassins are out of this. My voice coming through okay? Hope it is. But it's just kind of sad that how much power the Templars have.
I just want to be alone right now.
Okay. That's where the next power source is, but for right now...
Son, I owe you an apology. I shouldn't have lashed out like that. You have to understand, I've never been very good at this. Never mind that we live rather extraordinary lives.
Yeah, I kinda liked my ordinary one.
You can't escape who you are, Desmond.
So I've noticed.
Look, it's silly for us to go back and forth like this. I admit, I did a shitty job raising you. I apologize, I'm sorry. But it's important you understand it didn't come from a bad place. You're my son. I love you. I guess I was so busy trying to make sure nothing bad happened, I didn't consider the consequences. Truce.
That's kind of sweet. I forgot about that conversation. William Miles trying to make peace.
I can't believe it's taken me so long to ask, but... How's Mom? She's not...
No. Your mother is fine. We decided it was safer if we split up for this job.
Always assuming the worst.
For good reason.
Can I at least say hi to her?
I'm sorry, it's too risky. Maybe when we're done.
Right.
Kind of sad. We never really see that happen. Never really see Desmond.
Have we ever tried to make peace with the Templars?
Throughout our history, there have been moments. Several, in fact. But it's impossible. There are existential differences, insurmountable. If there were to be unity, it wouldn't be a truce so much as a submission.
But knowing what's about to happen, wouldn't it make sense to try and talk to Vidic? Come to an arrangement, even if it's only temporary?
We'd all be so busy watching our backs, nothing would get accomplished. Imagine that. We're more productive at war.
Well, have we ever tried sending in someone? Doing to them what they did to us with Lucy? Or Cross?
We have, and it's never worked. We've sent people who were either too weak and found themselves turned, or too strong and were unable to carry out the charade.
I just feel like we all want the same thing.
We use the same words, but that's all they are, words. In the end, it all comes down to freedom. We seek it, they detest it. And so there's never an end to the fight. Not until one side is completely gone.
Is that even possible?
Probably not. Our two groups have existed in one form or another since, well, since forever.
Where's he
But things
going?
can be better than they are. And that's something.
Did you look for me, Dad? When I was gone?
Every day.
Come on.
Where is he going?
I mean it. Every night I'd look, searching for your name or variations of it, hoping you'd slip up. Abstergo only found you first because they had better access. A few more days and it would have been me.
Well, I'm here now.
And I'm glad.
Alright, well, since he actually led us to where we actually need to go for this, let's actually go ahead and do this segment.
In the beginning, when we thought we could be saved, we sought to face the sun's wrath and contain it. 4 towers would be built to pull her fury into this place and dispel it. But even with all we knew, with all we had, it would take too long. 1,000 years we could labor and still the work would not be done. The first tower was never completed. The project abandoned. We moved on. But while we labored on other endeavors, a few returned. They thought to automate the process. Metal might finish what flesh could not.
Alright. So it's one thing that I love about this game that gives background into the first, how we are given information how their system collapsed. It's just a simple platforming. I really hate that. That's one of the things I like about this series. Platforming is so finicky. In almost every single game, it is almost impossible to have like a good, consistent free running set. There's always one instance where you either jump off a building, your character does something stupid, else.
If we could not meet the sun's cruel embrace, perhaps we might rebuke it. Already we could generate fields to protect us in times of strife. But these were small and simple things. To replicate them on a scale the size of a world. We lack the energy to make it so. Half the world, they said then. It is better than none at all. We tried. Again, we failed. A quarter, they asked. Even this we could not do. A sixth, an eighth, a tenth, they cried. The answer was still the same. Perhaps in time a city might be spared. But it was time we did not have. So we moved on.
All right.
Wonder what's inside.
Only one way to find out.
Right. Can't actually do that next section until we get the next key. I think we can explore it, but we can't go. Meantime, let's go. Minerva. A June. I think that's been. I don't know. Go ahead and talk to Sean, and then we will head back into.
Ah, Desmond, there you are. Can I ask a favor?
Maybe.
When this is all over, I'd like to try turning the
Thing
dial
is
back
before
on the
too.
animus. Like, all the way back. To the time of the first civilization.
You think it would work?
There was no real loss of fidelity when you visited Altair. Then again, that was about 1,000 years ago, and I'm looking at going back at least 70,000 more.
Sure, I'd be up for it. Be interesting to see what things were like back then.
Excellent. I think it would prove most enlightening.
I don't know why these dialogue things repeat.
So this is how it started.
What are you up to?
Just brushing up on my American history. Well, I say history. They certainly teach you strange things in the States.
Like what?
Well, for all the talk of this big
Dennis, too.
Revolutionary War, it was a civil one. Well, not that kind of civil. I mean, there was no America versus Britain. It was Brit on Brit action. And you can clearly see how the whole thing got started. One war gave birth to the other.
You mean the 7 Years' War?
Exactly. Seems the Crown overspent in its attempt to keep the French out, wound up with a great deal of debt. Believing that the colonists should help to shoulder the burden, new taxes were created. It was a reasonable request, even if Parliament was rather, well, undiplomatic about it.
Well, it's not really fair to tax people for a war they didn't want any part of.
What? Didn't want any part of? Did you not notice George Washington with Edward Braddock? He was right there in the middle of it. So here you have the Crown spending who knows how much money to secure a place for the colonists to thrive, and then, when they ask for a little bit of help... Right, look, think of it this way. King George and the colonists, they all go out to dinner, right? And when the bill comes, George asks for them to kick in and pay their share. Fair enough. But keep in mind, he's been taking them out to dinner gratis for decades now. But the colonists, oh no, they insist they only had a glass of water and a side salad. Never mind the table's full of half-eaten food and empty bottles of wine. Now when the king points this out, what do the colonists do? Oh, they flip the table over and they storm out. Probably intending to return later and burn it down.
You left out the part where the king pointed a gun at the colonists and asked them to cover dinner for everyone in the restaurant.
Right, yeah, interesting take. If he pulled out a gun, and I'm not sure he did, it would only have been after the 100th failed attempt at getting them to pay their fair share.
But how do you define someone's fair share?
Oh, well, with a war, apparently.
Okay, I apparently got a lot of things. I'm just gonna go back into the animus. What I think is kind of funny is I guess like the differing views between how Americans were talking about the American Revolution. But it's just kind of made me realize just how different the beliefs, I guess, are happening. So once again, I am showing the new. Here you can go pause the stream or pause the video if you want. And show this off. I was looking for familiar words or gibberish, but the only thing of that was actually Minerva trying to talk through this. Alright. Let's head back in.
Good luck, Desmond.
have about 40 minutes.
These are troubled times. The already uneasy alliance between the crown and its subjects phrased, and behind them both the Templars plot, pulling strings and moving pieces. History dictates they seek order through control. But how will they affect it here? Who supports them? And what conspiracies have they already
Kana,
spun? All these
spare a
things I
moment.
must determine. Of course, for only my enemy can I hope to stop them. What is it?
A Xingbao, or rope dart if you prefer. One of the many plans given to us by Xiao Yun to...
Sorry.
We'll have to work on this.
Now, oh, I don't actually have access to free roam yet.
Ganondogo,
Yes, my friend.
what brings you here? Is the village all right?
For now,
What do you mean? What has happened?
men came, claiming we had to leave. They said that the land was being sold, and that the Confederacy had consented. We sent an envoy, but they would not listen.
You must refuse!
We cannot oppose the Sachem, but you're right as well. We cannot give up our home.
Do you have a name? Do you know who is responsible?
He is called William Johnson.
Where is Johnson now?
In Boston, making preparations for the sale.
Sale! This is theft!
Kana, take care. These men are powerful.
What would you have me do? I made a promise to my people.
If you insist upon this course of action, seek out Sam Adams in Boston. He'll be able to help. What have you done?
When my people go to war, a hatchet is buried into a post to signify its start. When the threat is ended, the hatchet is removed.
You could have used it free.
Okay. I am gonna hold off on that for right now. Where I am going to go next, Boston, we have a lot of side stuff I need to do. We have a homestead mission available here. We actually have a couple available here. I should say that for next time. Because for right now, I want to get started on carrying out Boston. Is there no way to actually... Oh. What I'm going to do first is work on the underground. That's also one of my favorite parts to do. Game is ground.